Hello BookTube, this is Lena from Monkonurkka. This is my April wrap-up. So I started the month by trying to reduce my TBR's pile. I picked up Sign of Four by Arthur Conan Doyle. So yes, a Sherlock Holmes book. This case was simple, interesting. It was fast read and you read it and you are done with it. Nothing amazing. And well, I am not that much a fan of Sherlock's character. Point of me reading this book was that I have bought it at some point. I cannot get rid of it until I have read it. Now I have, so onto the sell it away pile you go. Anyway, it was not a bad read in any case. It was okay read. So as such, I gave it 2.5 stars. I would say if you like Sherlock, read it. You probably like it more than I do. Then the next book is The Invisible Man by H.G.Wells. This is one of my 1001 list book. The story is that in this small town there comes a visitor that is suspiciously always covered up and is really reclusive, and this book is following what happens to him. I have to say, I loved the common folk, the town people in this story. Many times in these old books, they describe the heroes and the main characters as the sensible one, as the ones that are, logical, rational, therefore better to lead. And the local people were more likely as suspicious and superstitious and all that stuff. But in this case, the common folk, even though they faced something that they thought that was supernatural, they treated it really in down to earth and really as common sense way as they could, and I loved it. They were like, okay, that cannot be real, but it seems to be real, so I am gonna act accordingly. It was great. I loved it. The book has kind of uneven structure. It started really slow, and I was thinking at that point that it was gonna be this slow, introspective look at how invisibility becoming kind of like allegory to something else. But no, it ended in a real action scene. It ended in quite long action scene actually. There was this rising tension in the whole book, but it started really slow. But instead of this reflection, it is more of cautionary tale style, a little bit like Jekyll and Hyde and Frankenstein. So the next book is Asioita, jotka saavat sydämen lyömään nopeammin by Mia Kankimäki. Sorry, Finnish book, there is no translation, but the title would be something along the lines, Things that makes your heart beat faster. I am making another video with this and the illegal traveler one, so I'm not gonna go into full details, but premise is that this is non-fictional book. Mia herself talks about her life and how she got really interested in this one Heia period's female writer. And Mia decides to go to Japan, to the roots of the story, to the same city that Sale lived in, and try to find as much as she can about her. And basically wrote a book about this. I really liked it, 4 star, but I'm gonna go my reasoning later. Then I went back to my TBR pile and I picked out a book that I really did not have much expectation. It's Ingo by Helen Dunmore. I know exactly why I picked out this book in the beginning. It's because it contains mermaids. At one point, when I went to the second-hand bookstore, if I saw a fantasy book that had some fantasy creature that was not as common, as talking-based stories, elephant arts and whatnot, I would pick it up. This was the start of this Ingo series, and it is a middle grade book. But because it is a series, the actual conflict and actual meat of the story, what I really liked about the book, there's no result in this book. There is hints that it's gonna go that way when you read more of the series. I was like, I cannot care that much to read more of the series. And the actual conflict of this book, well, it was kind of basic. I am intrigued by the books about the ocean and the mermaids because I am fully a land person. I never got the pull of the ocean. When I walk in the forest, in the paths, I can feel the pull of the path. I can look in the forest and be like, I want to go walk there. I just want to go there hiking. I get that feel. I never get the pull for the ocean. Maybe because I do not feel it, I always am intrigued to read about it. I can't either find, or for some other reason have not read, books that contains this pull towards the forest. Then I read few books for my book exam. These books were Rasistinen Suomi by Vesa Puuronen, Racist Finland was the title, and Arkipäivän rasismia koulussa. And the title for this would be Everyday Racism in the School. You can see what was theme of my exam. It was interesting and it brought this subject much closer to home because I have seen lots of discussion of racism in USA sense, but I have not seen same themes and what are the actual issues in my own country, which is actually kind of stupid. And I continuously was reading this book. I was like, why do I not know this already? Why I have not heard talking of this issue? And in the end, I was like, I have almost personal vendetta about some people right now. Actually, it was really funny because when I went to the exam, I was like, please let the essay question be about this subject so I can rant. No, they were not. Pity. If you are Finnish, read this, but especially the Rasistinen Suomi. Oikeasti ihmiset, jos olette sitä mieltä, että kuulette vaan tumpun tai minkä tahansa kautta Amerikan aiheesta, mutta ette ole ihan niin kuin sama, että mitä kaikkea ongelmia meillä on Suomessa, lukekaa tämä kirja. Se on vähän vanhentunut siinä mielessä, että siinä ei ole asioita, jotka on tullut esille nyt tässä viimeisen parin vuoden sisällä, pakolaistilanne. Mutta silti ne asiat, mitä siinä käsitellään, ei ollut muuttunut juurikaan miksikään, joten suosittelen. I gave it 3.5 stars. And then the last thing I read this month is The 13 Clocks by James Thurber. This was a list book. I wanted to read some really short thing. I like fantasy, I like fairy tales, and people were saying this is a really good fairy tale-like short story. It is a quite good fairy tale-like short story, but I would not put this on a list. I do not know why it was there. It was okay, it was good, so 3 stars, but is it list worthy? I don't know. Anyway, this was what I read in April 2016. See you later!